Nice to meet my good old friends.
Always a pleasure, Prof.
Thank you. I think this issue certainly is not new in many ways. But I think the way the public has reacted to this particular dismissal, quote unquote, or sacking or whatever, seems very interesting. Then also we have to put in a general context. You see, in Ghana, especially in these institutions, there are two things that seem to be very important to members or those who belong to the institution. Number one is what I refer to as the seniority syndrome. If you're a senior, you deserve to go up. Yeah. In which case, you don't look at performance or skills or anything. I was here before you, and therefore you cannot come and, be placed above me. That's number one. Then in the police in particular, is the promotional issues, how one gets promoted from one level to the other, and whoever is making the promotion. If you look at this and then you compare it with the armed forces, the way they've structured their training and other things and promotions is clear-cut.
Recently there have been issues about the promotions there too.
Well, maybe at the highest levels, because at the highest levels, the service commanders, the president is the one who appoints.
Discretion is there.
Exactly. But below that, it's a system that works smoothly. And the reason why the military has no such problems is because their training have been structured in such a way that once you start the process from military academy and you are promoted, everything is measured, everything is detailed. You are given certain grades, and as you move on, they look at all this, and then you come. So by the time you come to the upper echelon of the institution, nobody questions your ability, nobody questions your performance, because you couldn't have gotten there if you had not proved yourself. The police is not like that. So here we are with an institution where they are very much glued to I came first, seniority. And then if I came first, then your promotion cannot,
Dampare suffered this.
Well, I'm not mentioning names. I'm just describing the systems as they are. And I think now coming to Dampare himself, these are two issues that have dogged him since he got appointed to that level. One, as you know, and in fact, comparing him today with the newly appointed IGP, you made a reference to the point that Yohunu has been there 40 years or 42 years. Dampare, 35 years. So naturally, he came and, overtook him. And that has been a consistent pay for those who are in the system. Then Dampare also, in terms of promotions, I think he also stuck to this new way of doing things. Like, look, if you perform better, if you are better, it doesn't matter how long you've been here. And this is what created this problem for him from within the police service. Look, Samson, I have to be honest. For the past 2-3 years, I, who has no position, no influence, I do receive calls and information from police officers who are aggrieved, thinking I have a way to influence it. But of course, I have no influence in this system. But it tells you, and it was all relating to the issue of promotions. The man is just like somebody said, he's promoting his friends, but maybe these were better performing officers. I don't know. But
there was a group too that was complaining.
Yes.
And I had the privilege of, trying to represent some of them. They are in their thousands, or 1,000 plus at least.
Right.
They have, on their own, improved themselves academically.
Yes.
But the police have rules, and their procedure requires that to go to school, you must have secured permission, approval, and go to school, then return, then you may go on the promotion. But people took their own weekends. These days, you see the flexible stuff. And they've made better degrees for themselves. And they all wanted to be promoted. And they were told that that's not the system. You can't go through it. So all of these people will be aggrieved.
And you know that in this country, whoever is put in a position of authority and seeks to enforce the rules and the laws, that person becomes an enemy to all. Nobody can dispute this. We have seen it not only in the police, even in the civil service. You go, you are put in authority, and you start to, you are going to experience it now that you are deputy
Prof,
minister.
what do you say about the fact that the suit that was begun in April 2024 is pending? It's general. It's not to the president not removing IGP or so, but for fire service chief, that immigration, those chiefs. Imani and Professor Enin are in court, at the Supreme Court, saying that the president should not be able to remove them unless with just cause, as the Constitution says in Article 191, that for people in the public service, in the civil service, you can only remove them for just cause.
Who determines what
the just cause means there's some misconduct or something of the sort.
More than that.
Not that there's a political change in government. That's no just cause.
No, yes.
So that's what they are in court arguing.
Just cause, for example.
And then they just got wind of the fact that he was going to be, as it were, removed or replaced. Then they went with an injunction application on the 13th, and the president still went ahead. What do you say about that?
No, you see, first of all, Dampare is not an ordinary person in our system. So I know people are citing the case of Domelevu, who, you know that case. Mm-hmm. I said, no, these are two different. Look, Domelevu, sorry. His appointment has to go through the Civil Service Commission, interviewed and all. IGP doesn't. And so here we have to make a distinction between the top officers of security agencies and ordinary, so to speak, quote unquote, civil service. And any president coming into power certainly would like to have top officers who are aligned with his vision of leadership. You cannot dispute that. Okay. Look at what's happening even in the US of all. So I think I find nothing wrong with the president changing him as a police IGP, and even the CDS if he decides to. It happens. But every president also must be very conscious and sensitive to making these moves. Because again, if you make the wrong move, you are going to disorganize this.
He's 55, so is he demoted? What is he supposed to do? He's not on retirement?
That's a very interesting but very difficult question. In other institutions, 54, you can still be in the institution, continue until you retire at 60. But you cannot step down from IGP to become a director of something. That doesn't...
It's like stepping down from Chief Justice.
Precisely.
To become a member,
exactly,
member of the bench.
You see, so for me, and now that you have asked that question, my regret for Dampare is that once it became obvious that the president is going to drop him, and it's been going around for weeks, if not months, he should have honorably retired and then go to the president, discuss why. The president certainly will accept. Then you are sent off in a very nice, dignified way. Frankly, I'm not happy with the way the man is being sent off. It's very poor departure arrangements. The man has served this nation for 35 years in the service.
Would you have him continue?
Well, if I were the president, I would look at all the factors. I'm not the president. I don't know what
Thank you very much. Prof. Enin, in a minute, I'm sorry, but we are run out of time.